is Andre Park, and today I want to go ahead and talk about the 10 rules to success. And particularly, we're going to break down rule number 3. Rule number uno, stress. Rule number 3. Now, what is rule number 3? Create your own work. And before I go into details of creating your own work, how to identify it, I was really sitting down and I was thinking about a young lady in the Bahamas. One of my mentors, he was a pastor in the Bahamas. He passed away quite a few years back, but he was a pastor in the Bahamas, and he was a regular work day, and he had one of his church members came in, and she's all frantic. Pastor, I need to talk to you. And he's like, hey, what's going on, sister? Sister, what's it? Well, I've been working down there at the hotel for almost 20 years now, and just from out of nowhere, they came in and they laid me off and told me they didn't have any more work. They had to let me go, and now, I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know how I'm going to pay for my mortgage. I don't know how I'm going to take care of the children, and I'm just, this is my first time, 20 years I've been working, and I don't know what to do. And my mentor looked at him, he said, well, first, calm down, relax. They said a little prayer, and he said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to go home, and you still make those nice, famous oatmeal raisin cookies. She said, yeah, Pastor, I make them all the time. He said, go home and make me a dozen of those oatmeal raisin cookies, and then make a few more dozen. And there's those extra dozen, I want you to take them back to your job. And I want you to give those oatmeal raisin cookies to your manager and your supervisor. She said, huh? I say, what? They just fired me from my job. And I'm worried how I'm going to pay my bills. And I'm going to make some of my famous oatmeal raisin cookies and take it to my boss and my manager and my supervisor who fired me. He said, yeah, that's what you need. Listen to me now. Just go ahead and do it. She said, okay, Pastor, I'll do it. And she went, she cooked the cookies. She brought some to the pastor, and she took them over to her job, and she gave them to the manager, gave some to the supervisor, gave some to some of the workers, and they started, eating the cookies, and she left on out of there. And about a week or so went by, and she came running down the hallway back at the church, Pastor. And he's like, hey, what's going on? Oh, Pastor, I gotta tell you. He's like, hey, well, what's happening? He said, hey, I brought the cookies, and I gave them to you. And he said, yeah. And then, I took a couple more dozen to my job like you told me to do. He said, yeah. And he said, I gave them the cookies, and I didn't want to. And when I was leaving out of there, I had 8 people ask me, hey, can I buy a dozen of the cookies? And I said, yeah, you can buy a dozen. How much? She told them how much. And I walked out with 8 orders for a dozen cookies. Went home, made the cookies, brought them back up there, sold them, got my money. And I had about 20 more orders before I left that wanted more cookies. In this week, I made enough money selling those cookies to pay for my bills for the whole entire month, Pastor. And right now I have enough orders already coming in this week that will pay for my bills for the next month to come. She said, oh, Pastor, thank you. And long story short, a year went by, and this young lady went on to earn $1 million in income selling oatmeal raisin cookies and other cookies. But that's what she started with. Ended up getting a professional kitchen putting in her home, and ended up expanding beyond that. But she had found her work. She was pushed into creating her own work. Rule number 3 to success is to create your own work. Now, the first thing you have to do is you have to identify the difference between a job and your work. See, your job is what you do to pay bills. That's, you go punch the clock in. You might be a mechanic or a pilot or a school teacher, or like this young lady worked at a hotel, or a lawyer or a doctor. That's your job. That's what you do to pay the bills. Now, you might be blessed in life to actually, your job is your work. Now, your work is different. It's what you were created to do. It's that gift that's on the inside of you. It's that talent that's on the inside of you that no one else has but you. This particular gift and talent was put on the inside of you before you was born. You came to this earth with that particular gift and talent, and that is your true work. That is what's going to lead you to success. So creating your own work, not a job, is rule number 3 to become successful. So how do you create your own work? The first thing you have to do is identify what is your work. Now, what do you do to identify what is your work? First thing is this. Look at something that you do right now that brings you pleasure. I mean, when you do it, you're happy. You love to do it. You can do it for free any day of the week. It might be cooking. Maybe it's cleaning. Maybe it's singing. Maybe it's working on cars. Maybe it's customizing cars. Maybe it's playing chess, shooting a basketball, playing golf, drawing buildings. Maybe it's artistic work. But when you do it, you're absolutely happy. You love doing it, and you can do it for free. That's an indication of identifying what your work is. The next thing is you look at to identify your work is what are some things that when you see, it's just a problem that really, really bothers you. When somebody talks this way, it bothers you. When somebody sing this note off key, it bothers you. When somebody do a paint job in a car and they didn't get it perfect, it bothers you. When somebody is playing chess and they make this particular move, it bothers you. When somebody is playing basketball and they do this, it just gets underneath your skin. That problem that you have a problem with and you get really, really upset when you see it happening and you see it taking place, that is a clue to what your work is in life. So those are just 2 ideas on how to start to identify your work. The third thing is this. You figured out the difference between a job and what your work is. You start to identify what your personal work is in life. The third thing now is to take action on that. Set aside time every day, whether it's 1 hour a day to paint, whether it's 1 hour a day to play basketball, whether it's 1 hour a day to work out algebra equation, whether it's 1 hour a day to talk, whether it's 1 hour a day to shoot videos. Once you identify that work, set aside time every day to do your work. Because the more you cook cookies, the more you shoot videos, the more you play chess, the more you shoot basketballs, the more you paint on canvas, the better and better you will become at your work. Then eventually you'll get to a point where people will pay you for your work. Then you'll get to a point where they'll pay you a lot of money for your work, which leads you down to successful. That's what happened with the young lady with cookies. She'd been cooking cookies for her family. She loved it. She was cooking for her family, the pastors, some of her neighbors. She loved doing it. She refined that skill because it was her work. And then it got to a point where it made her millions of dollars. So what I want you to do here is take some action today. Identify your work. Spend some time doing your work every single day. Now, if you're looking at this and say, well, Andre, I don't really know what my work is in life right now. I don't know what that is. Well, I'm here to help you. You're looking at this video, leave a comment, text me, email me, message me, get with me. And we'll work together to figure out, 1, what is your work? And then 2, how to start going down that path so you can start to operate in these rules of success. So with that being said, I want to thank you for taking a look at this. But more importantly, take care. God bless. And I truly, truly look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world. Peace out.